Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Small Business Cybersecurity Course from Guardian Angel IT, where we focus on practical, real world steps you can take to protect your business from modern cyber threats. In this video, we'll learn about creating a hardware inventory. This represents the first task in the Small Business Cybersecurity Course, and it's the first task for a reason. Not only does it allow us to begin to meaningfully align your cybersecurity program with the majority of compliance frameworks, but it's also incredibly helpful. If you follow along with the rest of this course, you'll find out that we will be using and referring to it over and over. So without further ado, let's get started. When most people hear IT inventory, they imagine something complicated, but hardware inventories are actually the easiest place to start in a lot of ways. For many small businesses, a hardware inventory is also the most important one. It gives you a clear picture of the devices you rely on every day. You can then leverage your hardware inventory to make other tasks easier. For example, it becomes much easier to do software, application, and data inventories because you can look at your hardware inventory and then ask what software is installed on that device, what applications are accessed using that device, and what data is stored on that device. Having a hardware inventory can help you stay organized. It's easy to lose track of things over time, and even the smallest businesses often have more IT assets than they realize. And there are real benefits to being more organized. When you know what IT assets you have, it becomes much easier to do anything else and operate efficiently. It also makes troubleshooting faster and therefore cheaper. It can help prevent you from making unnecessary purchases and also helps you to spot outdated or unsupported equipment before it becomes a problem. If you're just getting started with an inventory, don't overthink it. Start small. List the devices around you that you use daily. A simple spreadsheet is fine, and you can get a free template with helpful comments for each category in the Small Business Cybersecurity course on our website. Just focus on getting started and try not to rush it. You'll get better results by taking your time and making it part of your business processes than you will by trying to rush it and get it all done as fast as possible. Give yourself a couple of days to put a thorough inventory together, working on it gradually. You can add even more details and structure over time. An important point when building out your inventory is that some hardware is more critical than others, especially from a security standpoint. Which devices are more important to you depends on your industry, your specific business, and how you manage it. For some businesses, the most important devices are servers. For others, there may be a database or storage device on which critical or sensitive information is kept. For micro businesses or those who are self employed, you may only have a handful of devices, including a workstation or a laptop or two. Your laptop or your phone may be the most important hardware device that you have. So you'll want to make sure that they're included in the inventory. A big part of what we're trying to do is separate out critical tasks into logical pieces, so that as we move forward in this course, we can do so with the certainty that we're moving the needle in the right direction to enhance your cyber resilience. And remember, your inventory should work for you and your business. Customize the fields in it to fit your business, whether that's location, purchase, date, warranty info, or device purpose and assignment. The key is to start somewhere, keep it simple, and build gradually. As we go through this course, you'll likely identify devices that you had forgotten about or neglected the first time around, along with helpful information that you may want to add in your inventory. Before we cut away from the slide, I want to bring your attention to the image on the right, which shows the structure of the NIST Cybersecurity Framework, or CSF. We saw this image in the last lesson, so I won't spend too much time on it. I just wanted to highlight that within the CSF, the first function on the outer wheel is identify. And if you read the documentation, you'll find that asset management is the first category in that function. And within the asset management category, the first subcategory is maintaining a hardware inventory. And other cybersecurity and compliance standards similarly position a hardware inventory as the first or one of the first requirements. So you can be sure that completing this step will be beneficial in terms of benefiting your cyber resilience and will put you on track toward achieving compliance in every existing framework out there, like ISO 27001, HIPAA, GDPR, and PCI DSS. Now, let's look at what hardware to include in your inventory. I won't go into details about what each device on this list does, but this list captures the most common devices found in small business networks. I like to start at the entry point of the network, often known as a modem or a gateway device. You may have a cable, fiber, or even a DSL modem, and combination units are very common in homes and frequently used in businesses with a single small location. Starlink dishes, satellite, and 5G modems are becoming increasingly popular as well. You may have a hardware firewall, which is an appliance that can provide a lot of security benefits and control. We'll cover firewalls in a dedicated lesson later in this course. Next, you may have a router separate from your modem, or it may be integrated with your modem or firewall. Switches are also incredibly useful for both general IT and cybersecurity. Make sure to list all of your switches on your asset inventory. If you have several switch types, you'll want to document that and whether or not they are managed, because this has a significant effect on your options for structuring and managing your network. Next, we have Wi Fi access points. If you have a combination router and Wi Fi access point, there's no need to list it twice. We also have mesh Wi Fi access points and Wi Fi repeaters. A lot of businesses use repeaters to extend their Wi Fi and then forget about them, which can lead to major security vulnerabilities later on, including the possibility for unauthenticated guests to gain direct access to your network. So try to do an accurate inventory of these. You may want to walk around your facility to see if there are any you forgot, or pull up the list of wireless networks that you can connect to see if you have any other devices broadcasting a network that you forgot about. Next on this list is servers. There are many different types of servers, and there's technically some crossover between this category and others on the list. Common servers at small businesses include network servers used for various services, and Windows Active Directory, as well as database and file servers. Desktop computers are usually easy to identify, but we occasionally find two or more desktops underneath a single desk, so make sure you're accounting for them all. Laptops can be a little sneakier since it's common to have one or more old laptops stashed in a box or closet somewhere. When it comes to old devices, for security purposes, it's best to be decisive. If you aren't going to use it for work anytime soon, then it's best to get rid of it. If you do get rid of it, make sure you do so properly, ensuring that the device is either sanitized or destroyed, so no one can access the data on it. But that's a topic for another day. Mobile phones are very common today, and are sometimes used even more than desktop or laptops. And they are often the most commonly forgotten about because they're small and we go through them so often. Tablets are another type of device that are often thrown in a box rather than properly decommissioned. So try to make sure you're accounting for all of your tablets and other mobile devices. Point of sale or POS system devices come in many shapes and sizes. After that, we have storage and backup devices. There are lots of different kinds. The most common for small business is the network attached storage or NAS device. You may also have an external hard drive or another type of storage system in your network. Generally, I wouldn't include smaller storage devices like USB thumb drives on your inventory. Just make sure that you're not leaving them around the home or office with sensitive data stored on them. Printers are ubiquitous and can be easy targets for threat actors. You'll want to include them in your inventory. Finally, IoT, or Internet of Things devices, are becoming increasingly popular. Common examples include cameras, door locks and entry systems, smart televisions, thermostats, and there are lots more. Today's workplaces and homes are becoming increasingly interconnected, and IoT is here to stay. The rule of thumb here is that if it connects to your network, then you'll probably want to include it on your inventory. Most businesses today deal with at least some crossover between home and work, whether that's employees working remotely, using personal devices, or running the business entirely from home. For home based businesses, particularly, this creates a unique challenge. Your business likely shares the same internet connection, router, and Wi Fi or wired network as the rest of your household. That means that your company data and systems are sitting on the same infrastructure as family devices, smart TVs, and maybe even gaming consoles. Unless you have a fully separate network for your business, you'll want to include every device in the home in your hardware inventory. This gives you a complete picture of what's connected and where potential risks might come from. It may surprise you to learn that sometimes the biggest threats come from the most unexpected places, like your kid's laptop or your spouse's tablet. Personal devices are often insecure, they're rarely hardened against attacks, and are frequently used without much regard for cybersecurity concerns. Later in the course, we'll go over how to properly segment and fully isolate your business systems from personal ones. But for now, focus on knowing what's out there. You can't protect what you don't know about. Creating a hardware inventory is a great start, but keeping it accurate is what really gives it value. The easiest way to stay on top of it is to build inventory updates and audits into your regular processes. Then, focus on tying your inventory audits to key events so that as you change the hardware you use, or who or how it's used, you're documenting those changes in the inventory. A great example of this is employee onboarding and offboarding. Companies often purchase and issue new devices to employees when they start, for example. Other common processes include hardware purchasing or setup and retirement. By auditing and updating the inventory every time you add or remove hardware from your organization, you'll ensure that the inventory always stays accurate. Think of it like linking your inventory to your business rhythm. Onboarding, offboarding, hardware swaps, all of these are natural checkpoints. Finally, it's a good idea to plan a complete audit at least once a year, or quarterly if your business grows quickly. That way, you're always working from a reliable, up to date picture of your environment. Now that you know what you need to do, go out and get it done. This is officially the first task in our small business cybersecurity course. You can download a template with helpful comments for each column by visiting the address at the bottom of this slide, and you can find a link in the video description. You can see a sample filled out version of the template on this slide, which shows part of a hardware inventory for a small medical office. Note the categories on the first row: asset ID, device name, type, make and model, category, operating system, location, assigned department, and assigned user. The template has more columns than those shown on this screenshot, but feel free to remove or add columns as you see fit. This might seem tedious, but remember, a solid hardware inventory isn't just the foundation of achieving a strong cybersecurity posture. It also helps you to stay organized, operate and troubleshoot more effectively, and it saves you money in the long run. We'll be using the hardware inventory many times throughout this course, so don't get discouraged. Just try to schedule some time to work on it regularly until it's complete. Before we wrap up, I want to remind you that this video is part of our free Small Business Cybersecurity course available on our website. The course combines short background articles with practical step by step tasks in both text and video form to help you strengthen your security posture one step at a time. You'll find dozens of resources, including our downloadable IT asset inventory template, plus everything you need to secure your business in one organized, easy to follow place. You can check it out at guardianangelit.com/small-business-cybersecurity.